The results are still trickling in, but the broad contours are already clear. 5 states have spoken, and they have spoken largely in consonance with what the exit polls predicted and what the dominant media narrative had been preparing us for. The most dramatic of these, the ousting of Mamata Banerjee in West Bengal, after a decade and a half of unbroken dominance, will rightly command the headlines for days. But the more consequential story is structural, and it has been hiding in plain sight for 2 years now. Something fundamental has reversed in Indian electoral politics. For most of the last decade, the BJP's political genius lay in a peculiar asymmetry. It consistently outperformed its own Vidhan Sabha numbers when it came to the Lok Sabha. In 2018, it lost Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan to the Congress. 4 months later, the Congress managed a grand total of 3 Lok Sabha seats out of 65 in those same states. In Odisha in 2019, simultaneous elections produced the extraordinary spectacle of the same voter at the same booth on the same day pulling 2 different levers, one for the BJD in the assembly, one for the BJP in parliament. The EVM received 2 different mandates from the same hand for reasons that nobody adequately explained. Then came 2024 and the mirror cracked. The BJP was swept in Maharashtra's Lok Sabha elections, then swept the Vidhan Sabha 5 months later against every prediction. It did the same in Haryana. Bihar, once a state where alliances were everything, saw the NDA achieve strike rates approaching 95% in assembly contests, even as the Lok Sabha had seemed to be trending away. And today, Bengal and Puducherry have completed the inversion. The same Gaurav Gogoi, who won his Jorhat Lok Sabha seat by 150,000 votes in face of the same delimitation, has now lost his assembly constituency in that very seat by over 19,000. The Ahom consolidation by alliance, the tribal outreach in face of a burning Manipur next door, the Muslim vote, none of it was enough. The arithmetic that works in a Lok Sabha frame dissolves in an assembly one. The question this raises is not merely tactical, it is philosophical. What does a vote mean when the same citizen votes differently in opposite directions across 2 different mandates within months of each other? Either the voter is highly sophisticated, calibrating different levels of governance to different parties, or the conditions under which votes are cast and counted are not uniform across electoral contests. This question deserves serious, dispassionate investigation. It is not getting any. In Tamil Nadu, the politics remains Dravidian, but the map has been redrawn. Vijay's TVK has emerged as the single largest party, and in doing so has answered a question that the state's political class has been avoiding since Jayalalitha's death. Who fills that particular vacuum? Not in ideology, not in policy, but in the structural role of a dominant opposition to whoever holds Fort St. George. Tamil Nadu's democracy has always functioned as a 2-anchor system. The second anchor had been drifting since 2016. Today, it appears to have found a mooring. Whether TVK consolidates this or whether it remains a one-election phenomenon is a different question for a different day. What is clear is that the Dravidian grammar of Tamil politics has absorbed a new verb. While if in case DMK and AIA-DMK join hands, we may say that the vacuum was larger and the AIA-DMK was split up between the emergent poles. But the single largest determinant of these results, and the one that will be most assiduously avoided in prime-time discussions, is the special intensive revision of electoral rolls. This was not a routine exercise. When the regular SIR was completed, a special additional category was invented specifically for West Bengal: logical discrepancy. It was not deemed necessary in the other 4 states. The courts, when challenged, offered a formulation that should trouble every citizen regardless of political affiliation. People may lose their electoral rights temporarily, pending scrutiny. What the courts conspicuously did not answer was the logical inverse of their own position. If 3 million people not voting pending scrutiny does not undermine democracy, and the court was satisfied that it does not, then how does 3 million people who have been voting across successive elections, continuing to vote pending scrutiny, undermine it? The asymmetry in that reasoning is not legal hair splitting. It is the difference between a right and a privilege. At a moment when Mr. Modi's most durable political asset, his standing on the international stage, is at its lowest ebb, when inflation has made household economics the dominant anxiety, the institutions like the Election Commission and judiciary have brazened out every criticism with a confidence that is either principled or performative depending on where you sit. The results of today carry a weight beyond electoral arithmetic. Which brings us, finally, to the opposition. Mamata Banerjee was many things to many people, but to the opposition she was, above all else, a complication. Her successive victories in 2014, 2016, 2019, 2021 and 2024, each defying the national tide, made her both proof that the BJP could be beaten and an obstacle to any unified theory of how to beat it. She governed Bengal in ways that the opposition could not defend without embarrassment, and lost Bengal in ways it cannot explain without self-examination. Her departure from the equation does not simplify things. It clarifies the question that was always underneath. The story of a combative, pervasive political machinery and an indefatigable leader became the myth of all politics. All questions of electoral process integrity fell to it. The opposition must now resist the temptation of the prefix. There is no such thing as constructive opposition. The word constructive in that context is a concession, a signal that the opposition has already accepted the ruling party's frame and is merely asking for a seat at the table it is supposed to be contesting. Opposition is not a disposition. It is not an electoral strategy or a collection of competing regional satraps with convergent interests in a single season. What India's opposition needs, urgently, collectively, without waiting for the next electoral calendar, is a comprehensive political theory. Not a manifesto, not a coalition arithmetic, a theory of what India's political economy has become, of what institutional decay looks like from the inside, of what a media ecosystem captured by capital and proximity to power does to democratic deliberation, of what social polarization means when it is not an accident but a method, of what power in contemporary India actually is and where it actually sits. Politics is not limited to contesting elections. It is the site of allocating collective values, coercively in autocracies and persuasively in democracies. Before they can be allocated, they have to be affirmed. There cannot be managerial solutions to political problems. The results today are significant. The conditions under which they were produced may matter more.
देश दुनिया की रखी खबर
हर रोज हर शाम
कानो कान
सुनते रहें द लेंस पॉडकास्ट।
रही अपडेट लेंस के साथ।